Hello and welcome to Ginny's Gin Livestream. We are heading into the winter months now. I'm Ginny and my husband Rob is going to be joining me. He's got a very interesting cocktail that he's going to make tonight. It's kind of fun. It's very sciencey, isn't it? And obviously Rob and I, along with our dear friends Amy and Jeff Close, we founded Ginny's Gin, Twinkle in the Eye in 2016, and we went on the road finally after jumping through all the hoops with TTB and ABC and this, that and the other in 2018. So it takes a while to get into the business. So as I say, going into the winter months, it's going to be all about citrus. It really comes into its own. We have this volunteer grapefruit tree that is on the other side of the fence, and it really doesn't, receive much sunlight. It certainly doesn't get any nurturing or anything. But we've been doing some work during COVID-19 and the shelter in place. We've been doing work on the garden, and so Rob, I think we both had a go at chopping away some branches, to open up the tree, the grapefruit tree, to the light. And Rob even, I think, watered it and fertilized it, didn't you? So it's got these really cute little grapefruits. They're pretty small, but they're nice and sweet. I'm actually using a store-bought grapefruit because it got really muddy down there and I didn't have time to run down there and change into my wellies. So, but anyway, so we're going to be using grapefruit for both our cocktails today. One of the kind of interesting ways that you can experiment with cocktails is to bring out one of the botanicals, 1, 2, or 3 of the botanicals that are actually already in the gin. And for those of you that maybe don't know, that we have actually 10 different botanicals in the gin, and we start out with juniper and coriander, and we crack it, so that's the juniper and coriander, we crack it to release the essential oils, and we have a little mill, and it's fairly small, and juniper is quite resinous, so it kind of gets bunged up a little bit, so we have to be a bit careful there, and we have to clean it off, so it's sort of a bit of a labour of love. So the cracked juniper and coriander, that gets macerated in grape spirits for 24 hours, and then we strain that, and then we put the concentrate into the bottom of the still, and then the other 8 botanicals, they get hung up in the helmet of the still for gentle vapor infusion. And so we have 3 different roots. We have angelica root, and then, which is sort of in the celery family, I think, orris root, which is root of the iris. And orris root is used in the perfume industry. In fact, Chanel, I think, does a lot of that. And it has like this little perfume, sort of floral note to the gin. Licorice root. So licorice root, obviously you know what that is. It brings a sort of sweetens it, softens it, rounds it out, the gin. And then we have a little bit of spice in there, which comes from cube berries and grains of paradise. They're in the pepper family. Little spice, add a little spice to the flavor. And then we have lemon peel, and then we have lemongrass from the garden. In fact, we're about to harvest the lemongrass, so that's what I'm using in our cocktail as well. And then we have sagebrush, which comes at 6,000 feet of elevation up in Tahoe, and Rob runs up there and gets sagebrush, and we have all sorts of stories about the sagebrush.
From a private ranch.
Yeah, it smells like weed. But so 10 different botanicals, that's what we have. What I decided to play on today, in fact, I have to give credit to Christopher Long. So Christopher, originally he was a very good bartender over in Healdsburg and at Spoon Bar. And he went out on his own and he built this wooden roving bar. It's a teardrop. It's absolutely stunning and it's super cute. And so he basically has this beverage catering company, and he shows up to your wedding or your party or what have you, or event or charitable fundraiser, and he has a full service bar, and he can come up with this great cocktail. And so we had a partnership with Chris and have done quite a few events for him. One of the things that we do is we show up to charitable events and we can pour the cocktail before you go into dinner. And he's always sort of the star of the show because he's got this amazing teardrop and he does these incredible cocktails. So actually I'm going to copy his his cocktail that he did last November.
And he always comes up with all these crazy, like botanical, like edible flowers.
Oh, he actually has his own garden, and he grows all his own botanicals as well. So one of the things that he makes, I mean, the cocktails taste delicious, but they also look really fabulous as well. He does such an amazing job. And, you know, shout out to Chris. Right now, his business, of course, you know, is completely affected by the pandemic. What he does is, you know, he caters to very large numbers of people, you know, who are all gathering together for fun events. So Chris, hang in there. We love you, and we love this cocktail too, so we're going to do that. As probably most of you know, we have, over the months, we love to make cocktails with seasonal ingredients. We've done figs, we've done persimmons, we've done pluots, we've done melons, we've done tomatoes, what else? Carrots, and peaches, of course. So if friends give us something from their garden, we're going to make a cocktail out of it. Yeah, yes.
They're mutant.
Yeah. So if you have anything on your tree and you've got too many of them and you want to donate to the cause, we will make a nice cocktail for you, and we'll share the cocktail with you, obviously. In the next couple of months, I'm actually even going to make a cocktail using fennel, and another one that uses snap peas, which is kind of fun. So, you know, we're sort of going outside the norm of fruits and what have you, so that'll be kind of fun. So make sure you watch for that. So this cocktail, it's a Tom Collins basically, and what Chris did is he took the lemongrass, because lemongrass is one of the botanicals, and then ginger. Ginger is great to use at this time of year, you know, with the winter months, with the colder weather, and it always feels like it's good for your throat or something if you've got ginger and lemongrass in there. So the simple syrup, I just chopped up some lemongrass, and I chopped up some ginger, and then I also took some grapefruit peel as well. And so 1 to 1, you can either do sugar, 1 cup of sugar to 1 cup of water, or you could do honey if you prefer. So you make your syrup, you throw all the fun stuff in there, and you bring it to a boil. Make sure obviously that the sugar is all dissolved, and then take it off the heat and just let it sit there until it's cooled down. So it might take, you know, 20 or 30 minutes, and then all those wonderful flavors have infused into your simple syrup. So this simple syrup is, as I say, grapefruit peel, lemongrass, and ginger. All right, so it sort of makes it a little bit more complex, which is kind of fun. All right, so I'm doubling this because, as I've told you before, our glasses seem to be rather big. So I'm just going to do double, and I may have a little bit too much, but that's okay. So I'm going to do 4 ounces of gin, as opposed to 2.
That's like our big wine glasses.
Yeah.
The whole bottle in it.
We seem to have very big glasses. I don't know what that's all about, but we must be
thirsty.
Voracious imbibers. Okay, 4 ounces of gin. As I say, this is really 2 cocktails. And then I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of the grapefruit juice. There we go. And this is a really big grapefruit, so it's not going to fit in our grapefruit press. So I'm just going to cut it in half, and I'm going to ream it. There we go. Put that over here into, just with a little, I'm putting a net over here, a little strainer. Nope, it's fine. No, I'm just gonna, all good. And I'm gonna do 1.5 ounces of the grapefruit juice. Nice juicy grapefruit juice. There we go. See, how much is that? That's another 1/2 ounce. Yum. So Rob's grapefruit cocktail is very much more sophisticated than this, and
it's simpler in so many ways.
Yes, but it's super fun, and I think you'll enjoy watching how he does it. Okay, there's 1.5. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna pop that over here, and then I'm gonna add a little lemon juice. I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do 1 ounce of lemon juice. And take off the nub there. Get that out of the way. And this I can actually use the lemon squeezer for that. Do that. Get those pips out. Alright, so 1 ounce of lemon juice, freshly squeezed. And these are Meyer lemons. And as I say, citrus now is really coming into its own, so it's super fun. A bit more of that. Okay. Nearly 1 this. That's it. What else? Lemon. Okay, there we go. In there. So, gin, grapefruit juice, lemon juice. And then the infused simple syrup. I'm going to do half an ounce, because as you probably know already, I'm not a great fan of it being too sweet. You could go up to an ounce if you wanted to. So I'm going to do a good half ounce. And as I say, the smell of the lemongrass and the ginger, it's really good. The lemongrass and the ginger. Whoop, and the grapefruit peel. Alright, so there's a simple syrup. And then easy peasy, we're just going to shake it up with ice. Oh, and then Chris says, add a little pinch of cayenne pepper. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add just a little pinch of the cayenne pepper, just to kick it up a notch. There you go. Kind of fun. All right. There we go. And give it a good shake. Just make it nice and cold. So this past week I've been going out and introducing myself, obviously with a mask on, to the different Rayleighs and Nob Hills and what's the other one, Bel Air. I was actually, yesterday I was in the Sacramento area and in the foothills and some areas that I've never been to before. It was kind of cool. So just introducing myself to the wine and spirit stewards and saying that, you know, there is actually a person behind the brand, and yeah, so it's kind of fun. I enjoy getting out there, and I've really been missing the usual on the road situation, but I thought before the holidays it might be kind of nice to just introduce myself. So I'm going to fill this glass with ice, and we're going to just strain the cocktail into that. There we go. And I think I am going to garnish with an actual, oh, and then I think I mentioned that we're going to be harvesting the lemongrass sometime this week, right? Let's see if that'll fit in there. Okay, there we go. And then with all Tom Collins, you know, you're going to just top it off with a little bit of club soda just to loosen things up.
You can even put in the club soda first.
Yes, you could, yeah, if you wanted to.
But mix it.
Well, I'm going to mix it with the lemon thing. You could, but when you, you mean after you've shaken it? Because I don't want to shake it.
No, you put the club soda at the bottom of the glass, so then after you've shaken it and poured it in the glass, it actually mixes as you're filling it in.
See, you just told me something. I was just going to like rummage it around here.
That works too.
There we go. And then how about I put a nice, let's use this one, a nice grapefruit peel in there too. So grapefruit and lemongrass. And there we go. You know, and just have fun. I mean, when you're making a Tom Collins, if you want to do something a little different, whatever you have in the garden or whatever looks good in the grocery store, just, you know, infuse your simple syrup and don't be afraid, have fun with that. So that's a Tom Collins with lemongrass and a grapefruit peel. There we go. And a little ginger too. So very nice for the winter months. I'm going to clear all this out because Rob's going to take up a lot of space with his cocktail. And thank you, Chris, for that recipe. And
okay.
I'm getting out of here. See you in a bit.
Yeah, I don't need the cutting board. Do you mind bringing me my 2 glasses and the juice thing, but not quite yet, in like 2 minutes? Hi, everybody. So today I am making really, God, it's got to be one of my top like 3 best favorite cocktails, and I've only made it, I think this is the 3rd time. Because it's really the simplest drink you could imagine. It only has 3 ingredients and one of them is water. So really, it's just grapefruit juice, gin, a little bit of water, oh, and a pinch of salt. But I mean, really, the tricky part is that because I'm going to carbonate the drink, gin and juice, and this is a drink that I 100% am following the recipe from Dave Arnold in his book that's my favorite cocktail book, which is called Liquid Intelligence. But it's to clarify the grapefruit juice, using a seaweed-based gelatin called agar. And so I've already done that early this morning. And then I've also taken a bottle like this, and this happens to have a brand on it, but I'm not supporting any particular brands, but these are These PET bottles are basically, this is for sparkling water, so you know it can take the pressure of a sparkling cocktail. And the trick to this, and it's really simple, these are like $5. It's called a carbonator cap. It's just a little cap, and it allows carbonation to come in. It's got a little gasket on it, and that goes on your bottle, and boom, you can use a cylinder just like this. It's just a little CO2 cylinder, and it just has a little one of these little ball lock, cam lock for kegs, but it fits on the carbonator cap, and so it makes it really easy to introduce CO2 to carbonate your beverage. So the trick to making the clarified juices is to take, what I did was I took like, it was 5 large grapefruits, and I dejuiced them and strained them, and that gave me 1 liter of strained grapefruit juice. 1 liter is right there. It's just a little bit more than a quart. And then from that liter, I took out a quarter of it, which is 250 mLs, and I put it in a saucepan, and I used this whisk, and I whisked in 2 grams of powdered agar, and once that's whisked in really good, then I hydrate it by warming it up until it comes to a boil. I put the lid on so it doesn't evaporate, and I let it simmer for about 2 minutes. Then you take that hot liquid and you take the other 750 from here, which is at room temperature. You pour that in as you're stirring into your agar, and then I put that into a little hotel pan about that big, into another one with ice, and in about 5 minutes it sets into a gel. And then that gel, or gelatin, I just put in one of these little cloth bags as a strainer, and then what comes out is absolutely this beautiful clarified juice. And if you read Dave's book, the reason that you want to clarify for carbonated beverages is all the little particles and the color pieces would be nucleation sites that would make your sparkling drink lose all of its carbonation really fast. So with that, to make a single drink like this, once you've got the juice, it's pretty easy. So basically for one drink, it's 2 ounces of gin, 2 3/4 ounces of clarified juice, 3/4 of an ounce of filtered water, and then a drop or 2 of saline solution or just a pinch of salt. What I did was I made up a batch which Ginny's gonna bring me, which is basically 4 of those drinks. So I just multiplied this times 4, and I convert this to mLs. And so I did 236 mLs of gin, which is 4 drinks, 320 of juice, 104 of water, and 6 drops of saline solution. That's what's in this bottle. I've already carbonated it once. In order to carbonate it properly, the colder a liquid is, the more carbonation it will absorb. And so the target temperature from the book is between -10 and -5 Celsius, which is between 23 degrees Fahrenheit and 14 degrees Fahrenheit. So this drink, when I checked it 10 minutes ago, it was at about 18. So, I mean, we're right in the middle of the target, and it's perfect. It's already been carbonated once. And I keep waiting because like one of these days, one of these bottles is going to blow up in me. So then you carbonate it so the idea is that once it's sealed, then let all the air out of the bottle by squeezing so that when you're putting in the CO2, you're only getting CO2. So I've got my regulator already set at 42 PSI. Boom, and it kind of goes, and man, it's so hard, and I'm so glad it didn't explode. But then the trick is not only to have it super cold, but then to agitate it and so that you're getting as much surface contact on the CO2 as possible so that you can and even now after already carbonating it, there's more carbonation going into the liquid. And then, and that's basically the drink. I have another one right here that, as this is degassing, that we can make really quick. So that way we have 4 more, honey. I got everything right here. So basically, it's this easy. We're gonna take the 300 and so this was 375, so it's all but 50 of it. So we're gonna do, this is a graduated cylinder, which is really nice and accurate, even when I don't have my glasses on. So there's 250. And then another 70. which is going to be right to there. I put my finger on the spot so that I can accurately pour it. So there it is. And it's really tasty when it's clear like this, I think, but I would. And then we're going to go with the gin, which is going to be 236. So there's the 230, 240, 236 is right there. So I don't know what Ginny, we don't have anybody except Ginny and I at home tonight and Max. So I'm not sure what we're going to do, that she has a double and then I've got 8 gin and juices. And I think they're good for today and tomorrow, but then that would be about it. So that's all the gin. So this is a pretty boozy cocktail. So those of you who are interested, in each one of these drinks, and like there's 4 in this one, I'm going to keep this cold for a sec. Each one of these drinks is basically 16.9% alcohol. It has 5 grams per 100 mLs of sugar and 1.16% acid. So it's like kind of pretty dry with lots of acid and then pretty yummy. And then the only other ingredient that we have is water.
Your glasses are there.
I know. So I've got some filtered water handy right here, and then we're going to put 104 mLs. So there's the 100, and then there's the 4. We're going to go right to there. I mean, yeah, that was pretty good. So just so everybody can see, like once you've clarified your juice, it really is that easy. You pour everything in there. You put your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops of saline, and then you put your carbonator cap on. Before you carbonate it, you throw it in the freezer until it measures these temperatures that we talked about earlier. They basically 14 degrees Celsius is your target, or 14 degrees Fahrenheit. And so I love this tool. This is the best thing that I ever had in the kitchen. It's a Thermapen, and it's really great. I use it at the winery for measuring like yeast adds and stuff. And it's super accurate and it's super quick. And you can just check and see how cold it is in the freezer, and then just keep putting it in and out to manage your temp. So that is the drink. I would now put it in the freezer, which we're going to do, and then later, once it's cold enough, we just carbonate it like I already did the other one. So then we take our 2 champagne glasses.
All right, let me get those.
And that's it. That's gin and juice, and it's a super simple drink, but it does take effort and time. So it's not really worth making like 1 or 2. I think the minimum for me would be 4, but I like doing bigger batches. You can do a keg and do it for parties.
Yeah, back in the day when we could have parties.
One of the things is to degas it very slowly so you don't lose bubbles. And just like champagne, pour it slowly. If you want to keep the carbonation in, then you got to go super slow. And you go into a really cold glass with, like I said, this is probably at about, maybe at 16 degrees now or something like that. Super cold. And you pour it in like that. You want one too, honey? Look at that.
Yeah,
isn't that beautiful? People really can mistake this for champagne, except it smells like really great gin.
So this would actually make a really nice Thanksgiving celebratory cocktail.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving. I know that most of us our plans have changed and have to be flexible and what have you, so we'll all be outside. But both of these cocktails would be fun. And as we head towards Christmas, we'll do some fun cranberry and pomegranate. And as I say, I'll do something with snap peas and some fennel as well. So we'll bring you lots of holiday cocktails in the coming few weeks. And I hope you all have a safe and very festive Thanksgiving. And I hope that you can make the best of it, even if it's not quite what we were expecting, and if we have to be in bed by 10 o'clock as well, that's a kind of a bore.
Gin and juice.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yes. Cheers. Gin and juice.
Cheers.
And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we'll see you afterwards. Cheers. Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Grapefruit has that bitter element,
Yeah.
much like tonic. So gin and tonic, that's why this is such a great drink. If you were just to use the grape juice without clarifying it and made a straight drink, it would probably be too bitter. But when you clarify with the agar, it removes a lot of the bitterness from the grapefruit. Mm-hmm. It still has bitterness, but it's really in balance. anyway, there you have it.
It's fun and it's nice that it's fizzy and kind of
Celebratory.
And having
And the
it
fizzy
on
makes the alcohol, which
champagne
there's plenty of.
glass.
It makes it work pretty quickly.
Oh, jolly good.
So that's why it's
Excellent.
great at the beginning of a party, just like champagne, sparkling.
Yeah, get the
Sparkling
party
gin and
going,
juice.
right?
Yeah.
No driving. Okay, cheers everybody.
Cheers.